Okay, guys. As you can see, this is all the lowlands, and there was about 2 million people. The Israelites, about 2 million people. So I'm headed to Jericho now. I want you guys to see all the farmland. Okay. The Bible says this land was flowing with milk and honey, oil and wine. Especially show me the milk in the Middle East. They do not have dairy farms. Where do you think milk comes from? Look at that, they've got the irrigation. Hold on a second. Okay. I want you to see all of this farmland. Oops, wrong one. It's full of farmland, pasture land for animals. Do you seriously think that there's that much farmland in the Middle East where they can graze all their millions and millions and millions of animals? In a little piece of land that's 80 miles wide and 240 miles long with only 20% that has a place like this that you can grow anything. We're in Nephi right now. Just entered Nephi. I want you to see this. This is the biblical land, not the Middle East. Jordan River Valley. Again, it's the valley. Lots of pasture land, lots of farm animals, lots of farms. Stuff you will never find in the Middle East like this. Bales and bales and bales of hay. Lots and lots of hay. I'd zoom in if I had a free hand. Look at all this irrigation for growing things. This is John Deere, okay? These are for farms, for farming. I don't know if you can see those cattle in the distance, but let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. I don't know if I can. There's a whole bunch of cattle back there. My daddy owns a cattle on 1,000 hills. Show me 1,000 hills in the Middle East. All as far as you can see there, they've got cattle way out there. And we're driving through the Jordan River Valley still. More cattle. storing food and the animals, shelter for the animals. This is a big farm right here. And those are little silos and stuff like that for grain. Now, that tarp right there that you see, that white tarp with all the tires on top, it's making silage. It's fermenting and stuff for the animals for this fall. And it smells like a farm. Now we're going uphill, so we're coming out of the valley. We're on the Jericho side now. Not quite to Jericho, but we are on the Jericho side. In the mirror, you can see all of that behind me. All of that pretty green. Let's see if I can stop and show you real quick. Nobody coming. See all of that? See all that? That's the valley, and there's Mount Nebo right there. We're at the Jordan side. That's the valley, the Jordan River Valley. Now I'm headed over to where Jericho was, on the other side of the mountains here. People seem to forget, or they cannot comprehend, the thousands and thousands of animals that were sacrificed every year for sins. And in fact, they sacrificed every day. Okay? You have to have plenty of pasture land for goats and cattle and sheep and all of the animals that they had. And then you also have to stop and think that there has to be plenty of land for bears and lions. They're not capping a little bitty, couple acres of land. People want to argue and sit there and say, oh, well, the Middle East had lions and bears as well. Okay, the Bible says that David killed a bear and a lion in Israel. There is nothing in Israel for, animals like that to survive on. Plus all of the, and think about this. This is 80 miles wide at its widest point. It's very narrow at the top where actually stuff grows. You do not have the wildlife for hunting and everything that the Bible talks about. But you sure do here. Here's another thing I want you to think about. Okay, all of the kings and all of their thousands and thousands of men and the army and the horses. Okay, horses require more land to feed on than cattle do. You need at least an acre per horse. And they had thousands upon thousands of horses. The kings and their armies. There's not enough land in Israel and the Middle East to support all of that. But there sure is here. Those are old. In case you didn't know what those lines are going across the road that I have run over a couple times, those are called cattle guards. They keep the animals from crossing the road because their feet would go down inside those grates, or oh gosh, I can't think of the name of them, what the official name. Look at this. Look at all this land out there for a battle. Land for a battle. How many times did they go out into the valleys and have a bat? And, you know, the kings came and fought in the valleys. Another thing for you to think of, okay? Jericho just wasn't just a city. It was a whole big area. The city was had the walls around it, but they had lots and lots of land. It's kind of like whatever city. Here's a whole bunch of sheep, guys. See, sheep have to have plenty. Look at this, guys. Sheep have to have plenty of pasture land. Look at all of those sheep.